I'm Steve Rotay, president of Paul Davis. We're providing tips to help you keep your home and family safe. I'm here with a friend of mine, one of the most active and successful real estate agents in central Pennsylvania, Ann Lusk.
Hi Steve, thanks so much for inviting me today. I've had numerous questions that my clients have asked me over the years. One would be, when should someone review their homeowner's policy limits?
There's several occasions when that should happen. First is if they do more than $5,000 worth of improvements on their home. Could be putting in granite countertops, maybe remodeling a kitchen, even doing a basement. Also, don't forget that often we add a lot of electronics, TVs, etc. Those go into the contents policy. They should be reviewed on a normal basis.
So things like rugs, jewelry, furs, and expensive paintings, that applies as well?
Expensive paintings, but those of us with teenage kids, we have a lot of stuff that wind up in their room, and you'd be surprised how much we accumulate.
What would help a buyer in preparing for their move?
As they're moving, they really should start to looking at the contents. What we find in our industry is people really lose track of the different things that they have, where they are in the home. As they move, they have to box them up anyway. That is a great time to do an inventory, to really take maybe a video.
Okay,
or
that's a great idea.
Handwritten inventory, a digital, something that they could save and store. And that's also something that they can review with their agent to make sure that their contents policy of where they're going now covers them in case of a disaster.
Steve, are there any energy saving tips that my buyer should do prior to moving in on settlement day?
Sure. And that's actually a pretty good time to start doing some of these things when the house is empty and we didn't get a chance to move in all of our stuff. First thing is go up to the attic. Take a look and see if there's about 6 inches of insulation up there. If it's something less than that, then call a professional to put some more in. Another easy thing to look at in the basement usually is the water heater. Most hardware stores sell a water heater blanket of sorts. They're very inexpensive and can save a lot of energy. The final thing to look at is maybe the pipes that are around the basement, the exposed pipes, especially if they get along an exterior wall. They should be wrapped in some insulation, plumbing insulation. It's also very inexpensive. Those things can be done relatively easily when there's not a lot of contents in the home and just before a home buyer moves into their new home.
A lot of times when I'm in older homes and even some new homes, I notice cracks in the basement. Is that a problem?
Typically not, and not necessarily an issue, but it's something that should be watched. I suggest take some tape, mark the crack, put a date next to it and see where it is, or take a Sharpie and just write right on the wall and leave it go for 4, 5, 6 months. At the end of that time, then take a look at it again. If it hasn't moved, it's fine and it's normal settling. If it has grown, now you want to call a professional and make sure that there's no structural issues. Get more tips and instructions by visiting our home protection guide at pdr-pa.com.